Hey guys, back with a short video. I have a new HoloFlash product. This is Black HoloBeam, and take a look how this looks. Just like I've done in the past with my HoloFlash videos, I'm going to show you what this product looks like, how it works, how to apply it, and the finished results afterwards. And this is the Black HoloBeam. Comes in a 40cm by 20cm square, so a little over a foot by a little under a foot for the Americans. Unlike the other HoloFlash, this is the HoloBeam. So as you can see, it's holographic beams that run in one direction. Gives you a lot of versatility to vary up the different directions when you apply it to the guitar or whatever you're going to apply it to. First things first, you're going to need a crafting iron. Now, I've had a few people try to use clothes irons, and I'm going to say it again, they do not work for this. You need to get yourself a good crafting iron. You can pick them up on Amazon or from any of your craft stores. Some paper towels for cleaning. Depending on your part of the world, shallite or naphtha as a cleaning product. Masking tape is optional, and you can also use it with some parchment paper or baking paper, just depending on the finish that you want to do. And I'm going to show and explain the differences between using both of them. Again, it's not necessary, but some people do find it more comfortable to use. And most importantly, the HoloFlash strips, as I've shown you just before. The guitar that I'm using is a Black Monterey Stratocaster. Now, these are not, the greatest of instruments, but it's perfect for me to show you how this works and the way to apply it. I'm going to start off with some sped up footage of me removing the strings, removing the pick guard, clipping all the wires out, taking the bridge off, taking the neck off, and getting everything disassembled. Next up, we need to clean the guitar before applying the HoloFlash finish. The same as I've shown in the past, grease and dust are your biggest enemies. So using the shallite or naphtha with some paper towel, you can easily just wipe it down, get everything off it, get all the dust off it, all the grime, oils, from fingerprints, get everything off, and just let it sit for a few minutes, and whatever's left over will just evaporate in the air. So there's a few ways that you can apply this. The first way that I'm going to show you is using the optional parchment paper and masking tape. So what I've done is I've taken 2 of the squares of the HoloBeam Holoflash, and I've laid them over the guitar, covering pretty much the entirety of the guitar. I've applied a piece of masking tape to the top of them to hold them together in place, and then a couple of bits of tape onto the table just to stop it moving around. Finally, a piece of parchment paper. I cut one the same size as the guitar to cover everything. In hindsight, I should have taped this down as well, and I'll explain why. Going to show you the first pass in real time. So parchment paper on top, heat up the crafting iron, just hold it in place where you're going to be applying the HoloFlash. You don't need a lot of pressure or to push hard into the guitar, because you'll actually risk scuffing the HoloFlash and it's not going to look good. Now you can see close in that when I've taken the parchment paper off, you can see where it has applied, and it's very easy to tell as you're using it. As I speed up the footage of me doing the rest of the guitar with this method, I'll explain why I should have taped down the parchment paper to begin with. A bit hard to see in the footage, but it was slipping and sliding around on me and actually kind of pulling the HoloFlash away from where I wanted it to be. So if you come to do it, just make sure everything is nice and secured. Maybe throw a little bit of sticky tape on the underside of the guitar and stick it to the table to stop the body moving around as well. The idea is you just want to keep everything nice and tight and still, just to make it as easy as possible for you to applicate. I had a little bit of trouble applying the HoloFlash with the parchment paper as well. Some people swear by it, Me, not so much. I like to just use the crafting iron applied directly to the HoloFlash onto the body. I find that it gets better results, but you do run the risk of scuffing the finish. Like if you apply too much pressure or drag too hard. Once you get used to it, it's typically not a problem, but it's just something to be wary of, especially if you're doing this for the first time. Once you've done applying, you can just peel the top layer off, and then you can see everywhere that is stuck to the guitar. The first pass that I did, laying it out, all the beams run in one direction. Now I'm going to go back and apply the HoloFlash in different orientation. So just moving it around, spinning either the body or the HoloFlash, whichever's easier. And this is going to make the beams appear in different directions on the body of the guitar. Now, if you want to keep the beams all in one direction, by all means. I'm not your dad, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I figured I wanted to experiment just for the sake of the video, so I decided to spin things around and see how it looks. So again, like we did with the other stuff, you just place it down, apply the HoloFlash on top, hold it for a few seconds with just a little bit of pressure, not too much. Move it around to cover bigger areas if you need to. Let it set for a second or so, and then slowly peel it away. And this is the final result. I could have gone back and hit more of it to try and get a uniform finish across the whole body, but personally I like seeing some of the old paint coming out from underneath it. Just gives it a bit more of an authentic, natural look and doesn't look too overbearing, if that makes sense. But everybody has their own idea. It's your guitar when you do it, so you do it however you like. People have asked me as well, can it be clear coated? The answer is yes, under some certain conditions. Solvents in your rattle can paints like your Spray Max 2K Poly, any sort of rattle can is going to melt it, and it's just going to look like a blob of mess as it's curing. People that have got spray booths that are just using straight two-part clears or one-part clears that get sprayed on just with air and no solvents, they have had some success, but please try it on a test piece first. You don't want to ruin a guitar and ruin the product, just for the sake of not testing and going in without any preparation. And this is the final result, the Black HoloBeam Holoflash. Links to where you can purchase it are available in the description. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, you know the drill. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.